Malaysia Airlines, once a national pride, has been struggling since 2024 with a series of alarming incidents, emergency landings, mid-flight turnarounds, and technical failures. While each flight ended safely, the damage to its reputation is undeniable, reopening wounds from the MH370 tragedy. Meanwhile, Singapore Airlines, sharing the same roots, has flourished into a global favorite. How did these two airlines, born of the same legacy, end up so different? But wait, before we dive fully into this, take 2 seconds and subscribe to this channel so you don't miss out on our future amazing content. And hit the like button. Why Malaysia Airlines failed, but Singapore Airlines didn't. 1. Origins of Malaysia Airlines. The early days. Imagine the 1930s, an era of sleek propeller planes, excitement over commercial air travel, and pioneers venturing into uncharted skies. Malayan Airways Limited began its journey during this golden age, operating out of Singapore and catering to a region brimming with possibility. As its modest aircraft took off across Southeast Asia, each flight felt like a new chapter in a bold story, connecting lands and lives in a way that felt almost magical. In 1963, the formation of the Federation of Malaysia brought a transformation. The airline became Malaysian Airways, symbolizing a new era for both countries. But by 1965, things took an unexpected turn when Singapore separated from Malaysia, shifting the region's political landscape and sparking an identity crisis within the airline. Suddenly, this beloved carrier found itself representing two nations with distinctly different ambitions. Singapore's vision was to reach across oceans and establish itself as a global hub, while Malaysia aimed to strengthen domestic routes and serve local travelers. This divide came to a head, and by 1972, the airline was split in two. Malaysia Airlines and Singapore Airlines were born. While Singapore Airlines aimed for an ambitious, high-flying future with global expansion, Malaysia Airlines took a different path, concentrating on local and regional connections. The split marked the beginning of a unique rivalry, where both airlines would strive to make their mark, one with an international focus, and the other with an aim to be Southeast Asia's proud flag carrier. Malaysia Airlines thrived in its early years, achieving billions in profits by the 1980s, but it would soon face unforeseen challenges that would test its resilience and redefine its journey. 2. A controversial privatization and its fallout. In the 1990s, a dramatic decision changed the course of Malaysia Airlines forever. Prime Minister Mahathir Mohamad's administration decided to privatize the airline, a move that invited businessman Tajuddin Ramli to take control. It was an exciting and nerve-wracking shift. Malaysia Airlines was profitable, yet Tajuddin's entry sparked doubts. With little aviation experience, Tajuddin raised eyebrows in the industry, and the way he acquired the airline deepened concerns. Taking on massive loans from government-linked companies, he accumulated a debt of RM1.79 billion, an enormous figure that cast a long shadow over the airline's future. Then, in 1997, the Asian financial crisis shook the region, throwing businesses into turmoil. Malaysia Airlines teetered on the edge of bankruptcy, and the government, seeing a looming disaster, decided to buy the airline back at the same price Tajuddin had initially paid. This meant that Malaysian taxpayers were now financially responsible for rescuing an airline that was once a symbol of prosperity and national pride. Citizens across the country asked, "Why should we pay for the fallout of mismanagement?" The move ignited widespread outrage, as the public felt the weight of decisions that seemed more political than beneficial. The bailout became a turning point, forever altering how Malaysians viewed their national carrier. Once a symbol of unity and progress, Malaysia Airlines was now associated with poor financial decisions and a complex web of politics and business. The airline that once soared had hit severe turbulence, and the journey to reclaiming its former glory was only beginning. 3. Legal battles and cronyism claims. The controversy surrounding Malaysia Airlines only deepened as time went on. Tajuddin, having defaulted on his loans, faced a legal showdown with Dana Harta, a government-linked company determined to recover millions in unpaid debts. Tajuddin argued that he had been forced to take on Malaysia Airlines, claiming the government had assured him that any losses he incurred would be covered. This claim sent shockwaves through the nation, sparking public outrage and a series of lengthy legal battles that left people questioning the government's motives and transparency. Eventually, Dana Harta won the case, securing RM589 million in unpaid loans, but the drama didn't end there. In a surprise turn, the government chose to settle out of court, a decision that left many citizens stunned. Suspicions of cronyism spread quickly, and the idea that those in power were shielding their allies damaged public trust. These controversies drained Malaysia Airlines financially and damaged its reputation, casting a shadow over its leadership and raising doubts about its ability to operate without political interference. This sequence of events left Malaysia Airlines in a weakened state, struggling to regain financial stability while carrying the weight of public skepticism. The airline was no longer simply about flights and passengers. It had become a focal point of national debate, representing both hope for renewal and frustration over recurring issues. Each takeoff now felt like a delicate balance between resilience and the looming weight of a complex history that had left deep scars. The path forward was uncertain, filled with challenges and echoes of the past that would influence every future decision. 4. Struggles, turnarounds, and tragedies. The 2000s were turbulent for Malaysia Airlines, marked by a constant cycle of highs and lows. Financial instability haunted the airline, despite several efforts to turn things around. Amid the storm, Idris Hala, a skilled corporate fixer, was appointed CEO. His mission was clear: to save a struggling national treasure. Jala implemented rigorous cost-cutting measures, trimming expenses wherever possible, from reducing staff perks to tightening budgets across departments. His actions worked, at least temporarily. For a while, Malaysia Airlines showed signs of stabilization, and it seemed that the airline was finally on the road to recovery. However, this turnaround came at a cost that ran far deeper than numbers on a balance sheet. Employees felt the strain of working under tightened conditions, morale plummeted, and top talent began to leave, disillusioned with the future. As the airline struggled to balance cost-cutting with maintaining its quality of service, its financial woes began to resurface. By 2011, the losses were staggering, a crippling RM2.5 billion. And once again, Malaysia Airlines was in crisis mode, teetering on the edge of survival. Then came two devastating tragedies that would forever change the airline's history and global reputation. In March 2014, the world held its breath as news broke that Malaysia Airlines flight MH370 had vanished from radar while en route from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing. The Boeing 777, carrying 239 passengers, simply disappeared, leaving no trace. Search efforts spanned vast oceans and rugged terrain, but despite numerous theories and exhaustive investigations, no definitive answers have emerged. The mystery of MH370 became one of the greatest unsolved mysteries in aviation, and the world watched as families waited in agony, desperate for closure that never came. Just months later, tragedy struck again. In July 2014, Malaysia Airlines flight MH17, flying from Amsterdam to Kuala Lumpur, was shot down over eastern Ukraine, killing all 298 passengers and crew on board. The image of the shattered aircraft lying across fields in Ukraine shook the world, deepening the scars left by MH370. Malaysia Airlines was now facing not just a financial crisis, but an emotional and reputational crisis of unprecedented proportions. These twin tragedies left the airline reeling, questioning its very survival. In response, the government launched an ambitious restructuring plan, laying off thousands of employees, scaling down routes, and bringing in a seasoned CEO, Christoph Muller, to guide the airline out of the darkness. Mueller arrived with a fresh perspective and bold solutions, but what he found within the organization was a deeper problem. Malaysia Airlines, he revealed, was technically bankrupt. Costs were bloated, inefficiencies were rampant, and in some cases, suppliers were charging inflated prices. Despite his best efforts, Mueller's time was short-lived, and after just a year, he stepped down, followed by his successor, Peter Bellew. The airline was once again left searching for stability as it continued to drift through turbulent skies. Oh, and by the way, I know you're liking this video already. Go ahead right now and show me some love by hitting the like button. Done. Alright, let's continue. 5. The COVID-19 pandemic and the latest challenges. As Malaysia Airlines was trying to find its footing, a new storm approached in 2020. The COVID-19 pandemic. For an industry built on global mobility, the pandemic brought flights to a screeching halt. Malaysia Airlines was hit hard. As borders closed and planes were grounded, the airline bled revenue, struggling to survive with no passengers and no revenue stream. Desperation mounted, and once again, the government had to step in, injecting billions to keep the national carrier afloat. Malaysia Airlines became a symbol of a world turned upside down, a national icon fighting just to stay alive. After years of crisis, the airline finally reported a profit in 2024, a glimmer of hope after years of darkness. However, Malaysia Airlines' path to recovery was anything but smooth. Between June and September, a series of technical problems forced flights to make emergency landings, sending shockwaves through its passengers and alarming regulators. Passengers boarded flights only to hear unsettling announcements of technical failures or emergency returns, leaving many on edge. The airline's fragile image was at risk again, and authorities decided to take action by shortening its operating license from 3 years to just 1. The message was clear. Malaysia Airlines needed to prove it could operate safely and reliably, or face severe consequences. The series of technical setbacks, compounded by regulatory scrutiny, served as a reminder that for Malaysia Airlines, survival was still an uphill battle. Each incident rekindled painful memories of MH370 and MH17, reminding passengers and staff alike that Malaysia Airlines' struggles ran deeper than financial woes. They were a matter of trust, and that trust needed to be rebuilt piece by piece. 6. Comparing Singapore Airlines, a success story. In sharp contrast, Singapore Airlines, which shared early roots with Malaysia Airlines, took a drastically different path to global recognition. As Malaysia Airlines stumbled, Singapore Airlines set its sights on a bold vision: to be one of the world's best airlines. From the beginning, Singapore Airlines prioritized safety, service, and innovation, carving out a reputation as a symbol of luxury and reliability. While Malaysia Airlines grappled with frequent leadership changes, financial missteps, and political interference, Singapore Airlines thrived under stable and visionary leadership. When the COVID-19 pandemic brought the world to a halt, Singapore Airlines was not immune to the economic impact. However, thanks to its parent company, Temasek Holdings, Singapore Airlines received a record-breaking rescue package that allowed it to weather the storm. As the skies reopened, the airline emerged stronger, recording record profits in 2023. This financial backing wasn't just about staying afloat. It reflected a long-standing commitment to preserving the airline as a pillar of Singapore's global image. Singapore Airlines' resilience reflects its ability to adapt and innovate. It consistently ranks at the top for customer satisfaction and has become synonymous with exceptional service and impeccable standards. While Malaysia Airlines struggled with operational setbacks and management challenges, Singapore Airlines invested heavily in training, talent retention, and customer experience. Singapore Airlines understood that its people, pilots, flight attendants, and ground crew were its greatest asset, and it ensured they were well prepared, valued, and equipped to provide a top-tier experience. The diverging paths of Malaysia Airlines and Singapore Airlines tell a story of what can happen when an airline is driven by vision and accountability. Singapore Airlines prioritized customer satisfaction, service quality, and financial integrity, building a brand that passengers could trust. Malaysia Airlines, however, became entangled in political interference, costly management errors, and missed opportunities for transformation. Singapore Airlines stands as a symbol of what Malaysia Airlines could have become, a beacon of excellence, admired worldwide for its unwavering commitment to quality and innovation. Lessons for Malaysia Airlines moving forward. Looking at Malaysia Airlines' turbulent history, several key lessons stand out as it tries to find a way forward. Here's what the airline must prioritize to reclaim its former glory. Putting safety and reliability first. Every airline's top priority should be the safety of its passengers and crew, and Malaysia Airlines must rebuild public trust by focusing on a strong safety culture. This means more than just meeting international standards. It involves proactively investing in maintenance, training staff to handle emergencies effectively, and preventing technical failures that could endanger lives. Reforming governance and reducing political influence. Malaysia Airlines' struggles show how damaging political interference can be. To succeed, the airline needs to establish a transparent governance framework, free from political pressure. Accountability and integrity should be at the core of its operations, helping the airline avoid the pitfalls of favoritism and cronyism that have derailed its progress. Investing in talent and retention. An airline's strength lies in its people, and Malaysia Airlines must learn from Singapore Airlines' success in retaining top talent. By offering competitive compensation, fostering a positive work culture, and creating opportunities for growth, the airline can build a motivated workforce that is committed to excellence. This commitment to talent will be essential for any successful turnaround. Revamping financial and operational efficiency. Malaysia Airlines has struggled with inefficiency and financial mismanagement, and to truly thrive, it needs a solid restructuring plan. This includes streamlining routes, optimizing fleet utilization, and cutting down on unnecessary expenses. Financial discipline will enable the airline to compete effectively and build a sustainable future. Enhancing customer experience. To regain its lost loyalty, Malaysia Airlines must focus on improving the passenger experience. Singapore Airlines has set a global standard for quality service, and Malaysia Airlines can learn from this example. By prioritizing customer satisfaction with comfortable amenities, reliable service, and a seamless travel experience, Malaysia Airlines can rebuild trust and create lasting relationships with passengers. In conclusion, Malaysia Airlines has seen frequent changes in leadership, mismanagement, and political interference. The airline's financial struggles have often resulted in taxpayer-funded bailouts, raising questions about accountability. Singapore Airlines has thrived by investing in its employees and keeping political interference at bay. Malaysia Airlines, on the other hand, has struggled to retain talent, often losing experienced employees to its more stable competitors. Let us have your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you for joining us. If you found this information enlightening, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insightful content about cities and cultures from around the world.